Right, everybody, take a little look around the place, the outhouse inn. Get out into the meadow here. No deer right now, but they usually just walk right by you around here. They're kind of tame. Hopefully they'll be good eating someday. And the off-the-grid shop. Not totally off the grid, you got a line running there for the phone, but you can't get away from the whole thing. You can try, but they will hunt you down. And eventually, I guess, kill you. I mean, every law is, in essence, the threat of death. And I know a lot of people that are going to watch this will say, well, you telling me if I don't have a seatbelt on, they'll shoot me? And yeah, absolutely, that's what I'm telling you. Don't wear your seatbelt and get pulled over, don't pay the fine. Tell the cop he's a son of a bitch. And get pulled over again and don't wear your seatbelt. Didn't have to go that far. Maybe he thinks you're going for a gun. Shoot you. That's not every cop, but it is, every law is the threat of death. They will shoot you for it. Which really begs the question, what's wrong with us? The Constitution, as I think of it now, was one of these documents that represented a set of beliefs, an idea. It came about at a time in America called the Great Awakening, and pastors and ministers at the time were saying, it's immoral to have a king, that the only king is Jesus, that this whole concept is abiblical, that good old George E. Pooh should tell us what to do, that you are in fact put here to be free, and that our Constitution was based on these ideas. If you really look at it from a logical standpoint, if you were born without an arm or a leg, we would call you an invalid or not a fully formed human being. Well, your rights are representations of those things. You have legs so that you can move about freely. They were given to you by God. So if you're an atheist out there, it doesn't have to be God. Call it nature. But if you're an atheist out there, you better get saved, because there is a God. But you were given legs so that you could, walk about freely. You were given arms so that you could feed yourself and protect yourself. There's a reason we call it a firearm. You were given a mouth so that you could speak, eyes so that you could see, a brain so that you could reason. And all these constitutional amendments, these Bill of Rights, as it were, they're all representations of what it is to be a human, right? You have the free speech and all that so that you can use your mouth. It was given to you by God to do so. But we really stopped believing in the Constitution pretty much the second the war was over. Now, I'm not saying that everybody, there's a lot of people out there even today that still believe in the Constitution. I'm one of them. But our government's never really followed it. And, government by itself is not constitutional, really. When you think about it, it's the moral authority to initiate force in a geographically controlled location, pre-described geographic location. The county of whatever, right? Adams County. The state of New Ohio. Whatever, make up some word you want and call it a state, call it a county, call it an area, and then put on a costume like a clown, put a gun on there, and tell people that you have the right to tell them what to do. And there's a way to rule people, and it's a biblical one, and we haven't followed that in a long time. Probably never really have. The market will rule people better than any government ever could, because you want to eat and I want to eat, and we'd work together to do that. So this Constitution thing, right after the war was done, and old George Washington, he signed into, one of the first things he did, Mr. Mason himself, was he taxed people. One of the promises of the Constitution was that it would be small, small government. We're going to tax you. We're just going to kind of oversee that the states do what the Constitution describes and be this federation, not totally a federation, because more of a republic, right? We all know the story. Well, one of the first things they did was tax whiskey, Whiskey was money, and it made some people revolt. So what did they do? They brought in the army, and they shot those people, and there was a fight. You know, fast forward a little bit here, and I'm skipping over a bunch of other engagements like that, but look at the bonus army in the 30s. You know, a bunch of World War I veterans who wanted to get their bonus a little early because they were hungry. So what did they do? Send in Douglas MacArthur, some bayonets, and stab them, and mow over their little Hooverville, all in the name of government, or as I like to call it, looking at people that believe in it, God. They're God, right? Put on your seatbelt because we're God, and don't ask us for the money that we promised you because we're God, and we will treat you how we want. You are a slave until proven otherwise. That's basically how it goes. So, you know, what does it matter if there's a piece of paper 3,000 miles away from you that says they can't do this to you and they got to do this, and when the people around you locally don't believe that at all? You think the judges in your hometown believe that? Do they actually believe that? They think it's, you know, legitimate to force you to buy insurance, have a piece of paper on you? Right? You think that if you believe that if you believe in those types of laws and rules, that they haven't already taken your guns from you? Because, my God, I mean, you drive your car, you could really hurt somebody. You better have insurance for that. Oh, you own a gun, you could really hurt somebody. You better have insurance for that. You know? Anyway, here's the cabin. Off the grid. Of course, these open up, and there's a archway in the middle. Boy, it's fun putting that roof on. Tough to get equipment down here. Pretty remote down here, really. That's kind of how we get into the joint. The old Ford. You'll find out in my videos I'm kind of a Ford guy. Bear's End, right? The stack going. A little bit of fire going out the back. You see, I don't know. I've heard that saying, you know, I was a liberal and I grew up. I was a conservative, then I woke up. I don't know what I am anymore. After they shamdoozled Ron Paul, I don't even know that I'm libertarian anymore. I guess this voting season, while you guys are voting for idiots, I'm going to vote with my rifle right there in that field. And I'm going to shoot a deer while you guys are out voting. Because, as I said in the previous video, there isn't anything that's going to stop this. It's gone. And all you really have to do is just do a little research on the internet. I mean, just look on YouTube a little bit and see how stupid people have become. Right? And if we did these horrible things in World War II, like flash fry 40,000 women and children in Dresden, because their evil government had made them do stupid stuff, just like our evil government makes us do stupid stuff, and we were okay with that, and we were able to sweep that under the rug. The German people, my people, you know, and those were supposedly moral people. What are we going to do now? What's the limit of this? You know, what is the limit? If we're literally going to vote in a person who is a criminal, a full-on criminal, passing out and probably isn't even alive, right? But I mean, look at it. We went to war with Saddam Hussein, and just a few years later, we vote for a guy by the name of Hussein, who has a fake ID. And his social security number comes up to some idiot woman, I think, in Connecticut, where he's got aliases. He's Harrison Brunel, he's Barry Soetoro, whatever the hell he is, right? I mean, let's take a time machine back. This is what I want to do. I want to take a time machine back to 1976, and I'm going to jump up on the stage right as Bruce Jenner is getting his gold medal for records that will never be beaten, ever. I mean, they may get beaten. I'm not saying never, but I mean, they're pretty darn impossible to beat. And I'm going to grab the microphone right as he gets that medal, and I'm going to say, this, point to him, this is the Woman of the Year in 2015. You know, how bad does it have to get before people really wake up? It's time to quit thinking that voting is going to fix it. It's time to remove the idiots around us, the dummies that have their jobs because of affirmative action, because of public education. We've got to get rid of the morons that hold the levers of everything, from the local judge to idiot mayors that say, and this is a mayor in my hometown, oh, we're just gonna ignore the gadflies that come in and make comments about this proposal or that proposal. Right? All these people that went to public education. And you know, I went. So, you know, I know how stunted you can be because of it. Just kind of looking around the property here. Just talking. Hopefully this reaches somebody that's, you know, is maybe just coming to this reality that we live in. That it literally is your family, the people right next to you, that have these beliefs. And if you challenge these beliefs with any kind of reason and logic, they get a little upset with you. They get mad at you. They think you're crazy. They don't want to hear you. They get bored with you. Maybe they really love you and they're just annoyed by the fact that you're talking like this. But you know in your guts you're talking like this because you're afraid for your life. You know that if they can throw people in prison, and let's get this right, throw people in prison because they don't have an insurance card for their car, right? And then steal the money from you to make sure that those people go to prison. That this whole system is done. It's done. It's immoral. It's corrupt. It's finished. And the end result of it is going to be, I guess, Dresden all day long. I mean, I don't know. So leave your comments. Let me know what you think is going to happen. And try to weigh that out against what is happening. Because I think the time to say, well, this is going to happen or that's going to happen, you know, I think we need to weigh it against what is happening. You know, we're already living in this twilight zone where Donald Trump's kids are hunting triceratops on the Serengeti, and people would sign petitions to stop them from doing it. A little shout out to Mark Dice there, but, you know, we're living it right now. Here it is, today. People they're mentally stunted. And I guess we'll put up with anything. Anyway, leave your comments. Let me know.